Very good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday News on Rajya Sabha TV. I am Ashwarya with you, and here are the headlines. Can make a tremendous trade deal during India visit, says US President Donald Trump. MEA says visit will strengthen bilateral global strategic ties. 5 MOUs under discussion. India's largest aircraft C-17 to leave for coronavirus hit Wuhan with medicines. Plane to return with 100 Indians. Virus-related deaths crossed 2,200 in China. Among other Asian nations, South Korea reports 156 cases of infection. Youth must shun negativity and develop a constructive outlook towards life, says Vice President Venkaiah Naidu at an event in Coimbatore, urges educational institutions to promote constructive debate among students. International Mother Language Day today. HRD Ministry organizes events to celebrate India's linguistic diversity. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu speaks in 22 languages at an event to mark the day. And devotees throng temples, take a dip in Ganga to celebrate Mahashivratri. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President Naidu and Prime Minister Modi greet people on the occasion. Vice President Naidu to attend celebrations at Isha Yoga Center near Coimbatore. Days ahead of his India visit, US President Donald Trump has said that the two nations should make a tremendous trade deal. In his commencement address at the Hope for Prisoners graduation ceremony in Las Vegas, Donald Trump said that he may make a tremendous deal during his India visit. Donald Trump, accompanied by First Lady Melania Trump, is scheduled to travel to Ahmedabad, Agra and New Delhi on 24th and 25th of February. Ahead of the visit, there have been talks about India and the US agreeing on a trade package as a precursor to a major trade deal.
But we're going to India and we may make a tremendous deal there. Maybe we'll slow it down. We'll do it after the election. I think that could happen too. So we'll see what happens.
An External Affairs Ministry has said that India is eagerly awaiting US President Donald Trump's visit to India, and the visit will strengthen the bilateral global strategic ties. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that around 5 MOUs are expected to be signed between the two nations. He also added that all the issues, including defense and security and trade, are expected to come up during the restricted and delegation level talks between Prime Minister Modi and the US President.
The context was in terms of the balance of trade, and in that context the remarks were made. You are also aware that in the last few years efforts have been taken by India to address this particular concern, and now US is the sixth largest source of crude oil imports, and we are also purchasing a large number of civilian aircraft, and we do feel that some of these steps will kind of bridge the trade deficit which exists at this point of time.
The MEA also informed that the government has decided to send an aircraft consignment of medical supplies on a relief flight to Wuhan in China. Ravish Kumar also informed that 8 Indian nationals have been infected with the novel coronavirus on board the cruise ship Diamond Princess, which was quarantined off the coast of Japan. They are being treated at a local hospital in Japan. There are 132 Indian crew members and 6 Indian passengers who are on board the cruise ship.
This return flight, as we have indicated earlier, the aircraft will bring in Indian nationals who could not board the first 2 flights. Those interested to come back, they have been asked to contact our embassy, and we do understand that we have now collected the names of those people, and subject to capacity limitations and other logistics, we will accommodate nationals of other countries as well. The advisories regarding to and from travel to China, it remains in place. And this is purely to maintain public health so that infection does not spread to different parts of India. As I clarified last time, that there is no ban on travel to China or from China.
So India is all set to host US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, who will arrive on a state visit on Monday. The visiting dignitaries will begin their India visit from Ahmedabad in Gujarat. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Modi will take part in a roadshow in Ahmedabad on 24th of February and also jointly address a gathering at the newly built cricket stadium in Mottara area of the city. Over 1.1 lakh people are expected to attend the mega event that has been named as Namaste Trump. The US President and his delegation will be treated to India's rich and diverse cultural heritage during his visit to Ahmedabad. As many as 28 stages representing the various parts of the country are being set up along the 22-kilometer long stretch. Artists from across the country have been invited to perform during the road show. And on Thursday, Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani held a high-level meeting in Gandhinagar to review and finalize their preparations for the high-profile visit of the US President. And after the event in Ahmedabad, the US President and the First Lady would travel to Agra, where they would spend about an hour at the Taj Mahal before the sunset. Then they will depart for national capital Delhi. And on the morning of 25th of February, Donald Trump and the First Lady will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. From there, they would go to Rajghat to pay homage to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. And this would be followed by restricted and delegation level talks between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Modi at the Hyderabad House.
A couple of things which I thought I'll highlight. This will be President Trump's first visit to India. We do understand that it will be a standalone visit, which is a very significant thing. This will be President Trump's fifth meeting with Prime Minister Modi in 8 months. It reflects the renewed and growing intensity of high-level engagements between the two countries. The visit will be brief, very intense, over a span of 36 hours. There are 3 legs to the visit, starting with Ahmedabad, followed by Agra, and Delhi. I thought I'll just give you a sense of the timings involved for each leg of the visit. I'll start with the Ahmedabad leg. President Trump will land around noon, and from there he goes to the Mottara Stadium to address the Namaste Trump event jointly with Prime Minister Modi. This will be very similar to the Howdy event which took place in Houston.
And now an update on the novel coronavirus outbreak, and Hubei, the Chinese province which is at the center of the outbreak, announced 411 new cases on Thursday. Now this brings the total number of infected worldwide at 75,400. At least 2,236 people are now dead from the virus, with all but 11 of those deaths in mainland China. Meanwhile, Asia cases also have spiked. South Korea reported a jump of 52 additional cases overnight, bringing the country's total to 156. Now, this makes South Korea the worst affected country outside China. Altogether, 39 of the new cases were linked to one church in the southern city of Daegu. South Korea also confirmed its first death from the disease. Meanwhile, India's C-17 military aircraft is set to fly to the Chinese city of Wuhan to evacuate more Indians. The special relief aircraft will also deliver a consignment of medical supplies to the people there. The C-17 Globemaster is the largest military aircraft in the Indian Air Force's inventory. India's national carrier Air India has already evacuated around 640 Indians from Wuhan in 2 separate flights, and the C-17 aircraft will bring back close to 100 Indians from Wuhan, which is the epicenter of the coronavirus epidemic. Meanwhile, in related news, the Indian government has said it will provide relief to the contractors that have been hit by the disruptions in supply from China. The contractors who face delays in supplying goods to government under various public procurement programs due to the coronavirus outbreak will not face any penalty for such delays. Here are all the details.
The Finance Ministry has told all departments that supplies to government that are being delayed due to the spread of coronavirus in China or anywhere else will be covered by force majeure clause. This clause deals with extraordinary circumstances that are beyond human control.
Get classified in the case of a calamity, then one become eligible for many concession, the rebates. And you need one reasoning or explanation for extending certain, what we call a stimulus, you are giving concession or putting some government exchequer money for to support that. So if you declare that this is a calamity for that particular area or industry, etc., then obviously that area, that industry or that sector becomes entitled and eligible for all this concession.
The clause frees both parties in a contract from their obligations without penalty or negative consequences. This will also avoid imposition of penalties and other negative consequences on companies executing government contracts who may be dependent on supplies from the affected areas.
The coronavirus has hit China like anything, and the way it has spread during the last 1 month, it has virtually put every activity in China to halt. And China being a global capital of the manufacturing, and so many industries are dependent upon the various supplies, maybe raw material, maybe semi-finished goods, maybe components, etc. for that.
The Department of Pharmaceuticals, meanwhile, has asked the Directorate General of Foreign Trade to restrict exports of 12 active pharmaceutical ingredients and formulations in the wake of the coronavirus outbreak. These decisions were taken after Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman met representatives from a cross-section of sectors to assess the impact of the coronavirus outbreak. The Finance Minister has already tried to allay concerns of price rise due to the coronavirus outbreak. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
On some other news, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has urged the youth of the country to shun negativity and develop a positive and constructive outlook towards life. Interacting with the students of PSG College in Coimbatore, the Vice President asked the educational institutions to promote healthy and constructive debates among students on issues of national and international importance. The Vice President said that violence and hatred have no place in a democracy, adding that dialogue and debate were the best available forms to resolve any disagreement.
You must shun negativism. Please shun negativism. Unfortunately, negativism here and there is seen and encouraged by some people. We are not ruled by foreigners. We are our own country. You elect your corporator, your sarpanch, your municipal chairman, your mayor, your chief minister, your prime minister. You have that power. Every 5 years you can change without any violence. By silence, you can press the button and then issue is decided. That is the beauty. And we are the largest parliamentary democracy in the world. So keeping that in mind, we should leave negativism, add positivism. We should leave obstruction, destruction, go for construction. That is what is required for the national reconstruction. Try to understand this is very important. Politics, education, health, medical, the other things, they are journalism are all considered once upon a time as a mission. Mission. After it, some people started taking commission, giving remission, doing omission, forgetting the mission, leaving the passion. The Matru Bhasha Divas or Mother Tongue Day should not be confined to one day. It has to be an everyday issue. So that's why wherever I go, I tell 4 things. 1, remember mother. Mother who has given you the beautiful birth. Mother includes father also. Woman, man is there and woman, na? So both are taken care. Second, Janma Bhumi, the native place. Wherever you go up, do not forget your native place. Do something for that. Third is the Matru Bhasha, the mother tongue, beautiful language that has come from mother's womb. You must always promote, propagate. Feel proud of your mother tongue. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayali, Marathi, Assami, Punjabi, Bhojpuri, Dogri, Urdu, whatever it is. Feel proud of your mother tongue. At home, speak in mother tongue only. At home. I am not against any language, foreign language also. Learn as many languages as possible, but don't forget your mother tongue. That's why I say mother tongue is like your eyesight. Another language is like your spectacles. If you have eyesight, spectacles will work. If you have no eyesight, then there won't be any sight. Forget the foresight. Even if you wear Ray-Ban glasses, जुबान से कुछ आएगा नहीं.
It is International Mother Language Day today. UNESCO has identified over 7,000 languages that are read, written and spoken in different countries across the world, and has marked the 21st of February as the day to celebrate this multilingualism. This year's theme is Languages Without Borders. The HRD Ministry is also observing the Matri Bhasha Divas today to highlight India's linguistic diversity under the theme Celebrating Our Multilingual Heritage, reflecting the spirit of Ek Bharat, Shreshtha Bharat. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has extended greetings to the nation on the day. In a series of tweets in 22 languages, Vice President Naidu urged the citizens to take a pledge to promote mother tongue and also learn other languages. And yesterday, addressing an event to celebrate International Mother Language Day in New Delhi, Vice President Naidu said that the language is a tool for intellectual and emotional expression. He also spoke in 22 languages consecutively at the event, naming each one as he went along to mark the day.
मातृभाषा दिवस के अवसर पर हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। अंतर्जातीय मातृभाषा दिवस का उपलक्ष्य आंतरिक अभिनंदनों अस्सामी। अंतर्जातीय मातृभाषा दिवस उपलक्ष्य जानाई आंतरों की शुभेच्छा बेंगाली।
Let's get to some other news. Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi Manish Sisodia held a meeting with the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today, and after the meeting Manish Sisodia said that he held a positive discussion about the economic cooperation with the Finance Minister. He also said that he demanded funds for the MCD in the meeting. He also asked for a share in the central taxes so as to speed up developmental works like opening new schools and hospitals, improving electricity and water supply and cleaning of the Yamuna.
और दिल्ली में नगर निगम के लिए भी जो 488 रुपए प्रति व्यक्ति प्रति वर्ष के हिसाब से देश के बाकी नगर निगमों को केंद्र सरकार देती है, वो दिल्ली नगर निगम को भी दे, ताकि दिल्ली में साफ सफाई की व्यवस्था को, सफाई कर्मचारियों की तनख्वाह को, टीचर्स की तनख्वाह को, डॉक्टर्स की तनख्वाह को वो पैसा मदद कर सके। यमुना साफ करनी है वो उसके लिए मदद कर सके। तो वो रिक्वेस्ट मैंने उनसे की है। उन्होंने मुझे पूरा भरोसा दिलाया कि ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज हैं।
And the festival of Mahashivratri is being celebrated today, and devotees are thronging temples to worship Lord Shiv. Kashi Vishwanath Temple in Varanasi is witnessing a large crowd of devotees. A large number of people are also taking dip at Sangam in Prayag in Uttar Pradesh. President Ramnath Kovind extended his wishes to the people on Mahashivratri. In a Twitter message, he said that may the blessings of Lord Shiv bring peace, happiness and prosperity to everyone's lives. Vice President Naidu also wished the devotees on the occasion. In a Twitter message, he hoped that the lives of the people are continuously lit with good cheer, good health, good thoughts and good actions. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also greeted the people on the occasion, and on the occasion of Herath, which is the biggest festival of Kashmiri Pandits. In a Twitter message, he wished for peace and prosperity for everyone. Let's get to some sports news. First up, news from the field of cricket, and rain affected the opening day of the first test match between India and New Zealand at Wellington. Only 2 sessions of the play were possible, where the hosts managed to pick 5 Indian wickets. Indian top order struggled as they were reduced to 122 for 5 at stumps, with New Zealand's decision to bowl first paying off. For New Zealand, Kyle Jamieson took 3 wickets for 38 runs, while Tim Southee and Trent Bolt got 1 wicket apiece. And now our special segment on environment and climate change. Climate change and erratic weather pattern is likely to wipe out the entire coral reef habitat by 2100. A new research says that 70 to 90% of all coral reefs will disappear over the next 20 years because of warming seas and acidic waters due to global warming and pollution. As the temperatures of the world's waters rise because of greenhouse gas, corals are stressed, because of which they emit symbiotic algae that bleaches them, turning them white. Though bleached corals are not typically dead, they are more prone to diseases and hence dying. While transplanting young lab-grown corals can help reinvigorate dying and bruised reefs, their restoration efforts will meet serious challenges. And finally, before we leave you, here are the visuals from the Khajuraho Dance Festival, which kicked off at the famed Khajuraho temples in Madhya Pradesh yesterday. And on the first day, there were performances of Kathak, Satriya dance and Odishi dance, which were attended by thousands of tourists and local viewers. These are the visuals as I take your leave. Thanks so much for your time.